Hey, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Up Your Alley. It's a podcast with two best friends. That's me. My name is Taylor Edgar, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Baggett. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, yo.
We recommend things to each other, and then we come back the next week to rate and review them on a scale of 1 to 3, based on how much it is up our alleys. Right now, I have 55 points to Jake's 54. It's episode 25. Did you want to put a cap on it? Like, episode something will end it?
100.
100?
Yeah.
That's a lot of episodes.
I want to see the big numbers. Once we reach 100 points.
How about this? So we have a gym class style scoreboard.
Yeah.
That flips up. It only goes to 99.
Exactly.
So let's just do a race.
Whoever flips it first.
Yeah. So we'll just race to 99 as opposed to a certain amount of episodes.
I love that.
That way, if we want to draw it out, everything just starts getting.
Yeah. Right at the end, we're just like, I'll give you 1 point. 1 point.
Yeah. Today we're going to be talking about the 2022 album Wet Leg by British duo Wet Leg. And we're also going to be talking about the 2011 Japanese film Karate-Robo Zabogar.
Yeah, boy.
That Jake recommended for me, despite him knowing better.
Yeah, boy.
But first, man. Before we get into all that, be sure to subscribe to this on iTunes or however you're listening to it, and leave a review and rate, and that's all good stuff. Tell your friends about the show. You can email us at upyouralleypod@gmail.com. I read somewhere that you should get this stuff out of the way first instead of last. Yeah. Because that way people will be thinking about it, be like, oh,
I'll do it while I'm listening.
Right. Because if you do it at the end, then they're like, and I'm on to the next thing already.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. This is all business.
You're reading the books.
No, they're websites, but yes, I am reading.
Books of the computers.
Yeah, it keeps me occupied a little bit. Follow us on Instagram at UpYourAlleyPod, and look us up on YouTube, and you can subscribe there and like videos and do all that good stuff too.
Smash that bell.
Yep.
You have to say that.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. And you also have to say, you guys, I'm really scared to go into this haunted house. Give me a thumbs up if you think I should go in there. That's for the children
Even though
that
they're
are watching
going in there anyway?
Yeah.
Did you see the new Mr. Beast?
No.
It's deaf people this time. He
Oh,
fixed
yeah?
deaf people.
Oh, good for him.
He's
He's buying a town.
Yes.
To put his employees in.
Yeah, I saw something online. It was just like, everyone thinks that Mr. Beast is the Antichrist. Turns out he's just Hank Scorpio.
Yeah.
From the episode of The Simpsons.
But didn't we have this problem with monopolies, like, way back when?
Oh, when you would have just like a...
Like Rockefeller
you
buying...
would just have a company town, and they give you, like, their money.
Company money.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, U.S. coin doesn't work here.
Well,
you need Rockefeller dollars.
I don't know. I trust that Mr. Beast kid. Too bad we'll never get that episode back.
I don't know. I'll see what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny.
Yeah, but he does that, and he's always like... By the time I get the notion that I should do this to help, I know whatever algorithm we're trying to get into, it's gone. It's moved on to the next thing already. It's already on YouTube Shorts, and I don't know how to edit clips or anything like that. Yeah.
They're pushing YouTube Shorts. It's not a
That's fine.
thing.
I've told you before. I view this as like how some guys in their 30s start a bar band.
Yeah.
We just have a bar podcast.
This is your motorcycle.
Yeah, exactly. It's my train set or anything weird that I might get into. Painting miniatures and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
But this is good stuff.
Oh, I have a question for you.
Oh, go for it.
How about the crow situation? We haven't had an update on that since December.
So...
He's very solemn right now.
For the record, I did not prompt Jake to ask me this.
No.
So we had a problem with the crows because when the crows got involved, mice got involved.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's because I fed the crows full shell peanuts, which they love. But then this was in the winter. Mice were taking it and all the shells from the peanuts, and they were building nests inside of cars, like inside the engine and stuff. So you take the car to the mechanic and be like, hey, is there any reason why a bunch of peanuts would be
there's your problem
in
right
a
there.
nest shape? So the mice and the crows were not getting along. So we kind of nixed the crows for a little bit. Crows not too happy about it. They were just kind of pacing around in the yard.
Oh, man.
So
you're going to have enemies now.
You'll know last week, if you listened, there was a saga about a bug. The bugs came into a different thing. So we bought a bag of bird seed that was just like regular bird seed and unshelled peanuts and stuff because I figure no shells, no mouse nest, because this is me using all my ecological training.
That's a great move.
Right? I thought so.
The shells were the problem.
So there's something called a black soldier fly, which is apparently a very beneficial bug. It's the bug that was flying around here. There were a couple of them down in the podcast basement too. So they're big bugs. They don't sting. They don't bite. They just kind of buzz around and bug you.
Yeah.
They're actually, if you Google black soldier fly, because I was like, how do I kill these things?
Yeah.
It's not to kill them. It's people trying to buy them. because they're really good for like feeding reptiles and whatnot.
Speaking of black soldier fly,
there's one left.
There's one right here.
He's the last lone soldier.
Way to go, buddy.
There he is.
His ears are burning.
I know. Do they have ears? Probably. His antennae were burning.
Antennae, yeah.
So
I burned his antennae with a match.
It's just my luck that the thing that everyone's trying to get, the one bug everyone's trying to get, is the one that I have and want to get rid of.
Yeah, because they're eating bird seed.
They were in the bird seed, and the bag of the bird seed got wet. Flies, they lay eggs and whatnot, so they're just a little bit. So I took them outside, and the crows fucking love that, because now there's just an open bag of bird seed on the hill with bugs in it. And apparently they're great for composting, too.
That's like a Lucky Charms to them.
Yeah, people buy the soldier fly eggs, and they put it in their compost pile, and then the bugs just do their little health thing, like yum, 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 eat all the stuff, and turn it into rich fertilizer.
That sounds great.
Yeah, they're super great bugs. Not great for a podcast studio, but outside, it's fantastic. So the crows are on hold until they learn to, clean up after themselves.
We gotta find how you can just feed one crow.
A crow?
Yeah.
There's a whole murder, man.
Yeah,
There's
that's the problem.
out there.
We gotta brush away the group and signal out one.
Just one?
Yeah.
See, what you're thinking of is a raven. We could do that with a raven, but I think the crows
are cooler.
They're cooler?
Yeah.
Are you just talking Brandon Lee crow?
Yeah. Bruce.
Yeah, it was Brandon Lee. It was,
Brandon Lee, the crow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I'm Edgar Allan Poe the Raven. I'm Team Raven over here.
I'm Crow.
Big blackbirds. But yeah, so that's the update on the crows. They're on. We're in a holding pattern.
Oh, that's sad.
We did get a new bird feeder. It's outside. It's nice, but it's for little birds.
It's
like we get the
songbirds.
Yeah, the cardinal. That's the official Commonwealth bird. A couple of those floating around.
Always nice to see those birds.
Yeah, you see an oriole creep in every now and again. We're like, hey, Maryland, what are you guys doing here?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Little bird watching talk.
Little bird talk up top. After we get everyone to like and subscribe and leave a review. Then we go to bird talk,
and we're like, you know what? Birds are always interesting.
It's so weird. We had a bunch of subscriptions click up, and then 6 minutes later, they all went away.
Bird watching is fantastic. People are missing out.
It's pretty good for old man stuff.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Speaking of stuff that we're doing to pass the time, what was this game you're telling me about?
It's called Descenders.
So you're playing this on PlayStation?
Yeah, they have the PlayStation Plus 3 games that they give you every month, and one of them was Descenders.
Is it an indie game?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just a game where you take a bike and you ride it down a mountain. You can go as fast as you want, do tricks, and try and stay on the path, and try to miss all the trees and rocks and stuff.
Oh, shit. I'm looking it up.
Looks super fun. I'm having the time of my life.
And it's just mountain biking?
Mountain biking. Yep.
Really? Mm-hmm. There was another game I saw you playing, because when you're on PlayStation, I'm on PlayStation, because we're friends in real life.
Uh-huh.
And
in PlayStation.
It's a game that one of the other podcasts that I listened to, they had talked about it called Sifu.
Yeah.
Where it's like a roguelike martial arts game.
It's not so much a roguelike, but it's a game where you make progression and then you just go back to the beginning. It's the same stages.
Like time passes for your character or something, right?
When you die, you age a year when you come back to life.
That's pretty cool.
Until you're 70 years old. And then you die.
You've been hitting up the indie games.
Oh, I always hit up the indie games.
I know you do.
Those are my jams. Sifu is amazing. That's such a good game.
Well, I'm not going to have time. We're recording this on Thursday the 11th, and Tears of the Kingdom comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And everyone
about 3
is
hours.
super jazzed about it all over the place.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. What I was telling you before, I was playing a lot of Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Right.
And I feel like I didn't give that game justice.
Yeah.
Because as it sits right now, it's fine. Didn't like it.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's not leaps and bounds more, like, story-wise. Gameplay's fun, and there's a lot more stuff that, it's the expanded... I know there might be someone that says, well, you didn't play the whole game. I finished the story.
Good.
But I wanted to rush through the story and get the story before Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Sure.
It's just one of those things where that came out, and then 2 weeks later, Zelda's
You said it was like doing homework.
Yes,
you were just trying to rush it out.
Yeah, I'm like, I got to get this done. And like, I was waking up early, be like, I got to play some of this before work, and then you get through a set piece. And I will say, a couple of the good set pieces were fantastic. I wish they had more of that stuff in the movies, like force power, jumping through the air, a lot more. You remember the Clone Wars animated series that was done before the computer one, where it was like this
Gennady Tartakovsky one?
Is that the Samurai Jack guy that
did
the animation? Yeah. So it's a little more jumping around, super powery stuff like that.
Cool.
Which is fun. And the story's okay, but I understand they're working. If you don't know the Jedi Survivor game and Jedi Fallen Order, they're set between Episode 3 and Episode 4. And all the video games are canon now, which I think now that they're trying to cram so much into a specific time frame that people seem to care about, because people liked Andor, they liked Mandalorian, which happens between episode 6 and 7.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the other expanded stuff, they've written books and everything. People really like this time frame. So I think they're thinking this is what makes money. Stuff that you can kind of tie in and, there's Darth Vader. Or here's a reference to this person we know. They have a reference. Someone says something about Qui-Gon Jinn, and you're just like, oh, I kind of, I know what this is. Yeah. And so they're really running out of room to make these epic stories and then be like,
just for the Clone Wars.
Right, because it has to be in canon. So it can't be something super grandiose, because it'd be like, well, why was nobody talking about this? Like, how did this not get back to everyone else that's involved?
I like the story in Fallen Order because it felt high stakes for the characters involved.
Yes, and this one does too. But it really has a thing. It had this, and I'll talk to you about it after you've played it. But it has a plot device where I'm just like, oh, this is how they can explain everything.
Okay.
And then they just didn't do that, and I was just like,
oh shit.
It's kind of a bummer. I thought not because it's a bummer because I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
You should have done what I'm not one of those nerds that's like, I can write this better.
Yeah.
I know I can.
Yeah.
Well, shout out to all the writers that are on strike. But it's just one of those things where I thought I had figured it out. Like when you think you see how a trick's done and you could tell where something's going.
Right.
And then they went a different way, and I was just like,
And it kind of felt like let down just because,
There's a litany of side missions, and like I said last week, there was there's been a couple updates and patches, and some of the little glitchy stuff is getting better.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be nice after I spend I'm going to ballpark it and say 6 to 8 months just playing Zelda.
Yeah.
I'll go back to it and do more of the side missions and stuff. But,
right.
I mean, it was a second bit of media that I was kind of let down on, because I also saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yeah.
Which you've not seen yet.
No, I have not.
Not super. Have to go out and see it.
You see, that's interesting, because everybody is saying that it's a great superhero movie.
It is. And I think it fits in really well with the other two.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think this is, the more I sat on it, like I liked it getting out of theater. Don't get me wrong, it's great. I think Guardians of the Galaxy, if you take all three of those movies in the MCU, they're probably the strongest trilogy.
I have no doubt, yeah.
I mean, a close one would probably be Captain America, just because Winter Soldier and Civil War were so good.
That's true.
And First Avengers is a great movie, too.
Civil War is like when it started just becoming Avengers light.
Right,
but
exactly. That wasn't so much a Captain America movie. That was
a
mini Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But, Guardians 3 was great. James Gunn's great. The soundtrack was fantastic. Space Hog's back in there. Florence and the Machine's in there at the end. Starts out with Radiohead, which I'm not a fan of the song.
Fake plastic trees. Oh man,
it was creep. Like it was the Radiohead everyone knows. Yeah, he didn't pull any B-sides from Radiohead.
Fake plastic trees. That's from Clueless, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Clueless in years.
I bought it on Blu-ray for my sister when I was at Walmart. I saw it for $10. I was like, oh no.
Oh no, someone put...
We're going to watch this movie again. I love that movie. It's great.
I have no reason not to like it. But I will say, the Guardians, the one thing that bought... So I talked about this when we talked about the Mario movie too.
Yeah. How
they had little sound drops and everyone was trying to do kind of the Guardians of the Galaxy thing where, there's a song in there. It's a needle drop, they call it. Guardians had that too. It had one of the same songs that Mario had.
Really?
Yeah, both of them had No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think that's a good song.
You don't think it's a good song?
I saw it in those two movies, and then I listened to it, and I was just like, this isn't a great song. It's not. It's by and far not the best Beastie Boys song.
Yeah.
It just has the name Brooklyn in it.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just not a very good song. And it made me hurt because I thought I liked it, and then I saw it in two movies and listened to it, and I'm like, yeah, No Sleep Till Brooklyn kind of sucks.
It's because we like Beastie Boys, so
it's just not very strong.
It's got to be a good song.
But that's
hilarious.
But yeah, I think my ranking for the Guardians movies, they're in the same order as the Star Wars original trilogy.
Yeah,
2 is my favorite, followed by 1, then 3.
Wow,
this is my least favorite out of the Guardians movies.
Okay.
And I think there are a couple things they did a whole lot better that I think most people have noticed, and without spoilers or anything, when the Guardians were being written by not James Gunn.
Yeah.
When they were putting the Avengers movies and a little bit in the beginning of the 4th Thor movie, they're a lot dumber and they're not as like they don't take charge as much.
Yeah.
You know, when in the Avengers movie, it was like they're playing backseat to Spider-Man and Iron Man and Doctor Strange and all that stuff.
I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's something that writers have a problem with when they're like comedic,
right,
and an ensemble. You know.
Yeah, and it's something I think James Gunn in one of the interviews that he did, he asked Taika Waititi, he's like, "Can you write the Guardians and Thor away from each other?" And that was the whole opening scene of Thor 4 was the Guardians and Thor leaving. Because he's like, I don't want to have to write Thor into my movie. So can you just... And kind of like what we were saying about the Star Wars stuff. Directors kind of just get boxed in, or writers and directors kind of get boxed in, too.
And you don't want that. And those are your characters. And when somebody else writes your characters...
It was good.
It's not going to be the same.
I really like Chris Pratt. I hope they all get a lot of money. Dave Bautista, I think, is probably going to move on with James Gunn. And probably show up. There's
Superman?
No, there's rumors of him playing Bane, which I would love to see.
He'd be a great Bane.
He is Bane.
He'd be a great Bane.
Yeah, and then
he would be an amazing Bane because he speaks good. He does the words well.
Yep.
You know?
He speaks good like Jake
He speaks good like Bane do.
Yeah.
And I would appreciate that.
Yeah. And
he doesn't have the voice. That's it. I'm not doing it again. Don't worry.
That sounded more like the Bane from the animated Harley Quinn. Have you seen that?
No.
It's hilarious. But he also, James Gunn brought in Nathan Fillion for a speaking role. Always good to see him. And the guy that played the High Evolutionary, the villain, whose name I'm blanking on, but he was also in Peacemaker. Mm-hmm. So you get a lot of James Gunn's people in there. And I'm like, all right, good. I hope he's got some of these people over. Yeah.
It's going to be nice seeing Michael Rooker in DC movies.
Yeah.
Gotta have a cool character for him.
He would be great if they ever did. Have you ever read the Batman? I've got to send over there. 3 Jokers.
No.
It's basically the whole premise of it is there's 3 different Jokers, and they're all different aspects of the same Joker, but they're all alive at the same time.
Okay.
I think it's like the criminal, the clown, and the comedian.
Okay.
And they're just very different versions of the Joker. And Michael Rooker would be a great
criminal.
One of those Jokers. Yeah, just like the really heartless, mean, I'm going to murder everybody Joker.
Michael Rooker's just great.
Yeah. I want to see him in more stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bummer he wasn't in this. I think that's probably why I like 2 the best. The
Yondu such a
the
big...
Yondu Star-Lord storyline in that. And
that was great.
Also, the ego stuff was fantastic too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the father. Complex that
they follow
everybody has.
James Gunn's one of those guys like Dan Harmon where he's into like story and like the art of it, real Joseph Campbell shit and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So they said Guardians 1 was man versus man, Guardians 2 was man versus father, Guardians 3 is man versus God.
Okay.
Because the High Evolutionary is like the God figure.
Right.
So I'm not breaking ground here. It's not a hot take. My 2 hot takes: James Gunn is good at his job, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn sucks.
That one's kind of wild. You don't expect somebody to say that about it.
Fight me on it. It's not a good song.
I couldn't fight you on it.
Good. You shouldn't. You'd lose.
I keep thinking you wake up late for school.
No, that's
but you
got to fight for your right to party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that song's awesome.
Yeah, and I like that song. I can't think of No Sleep Till Brooklyn other than No Sleep Till.
It's basically a TNT, the guitar riff from AC/DC. Dun,
yeah.
Dun, dun,
yeah.
Dun. Yeah, it's not very good. Come after me. Speaking of getting into arguments about dumb stuff, let's get into what we're talking about tonight.
Your transitions are on point today.
Thank you. It's late, and I want to go to bed. Because when I wake up, Zelda. It's going to be fun. First thing we're going to talk about is my recommendation for Jake, which is the self-titled album Wet Leg by British indie rock group Wet Leg. Wet Leg is made up of Rian Teasdale and Hester Chambers. They're both great from the Isle of Wight in England. I recommend this for you. One, it's been a while since I've done some music, and you and I have kind of alternated music in each other, and you gave me music a couple weeks ago when you let me listen to the awesome
Rocket Juice
and the Moon album. So I figured it was my turn, and this is a band I was listening to most of All Affleck April, but unfortunately, as of yet, Wet Leg has not collaborated with Ben Affleck.
So you couldn't have suggested it.
If they ever did, it's jumping to the front of the line. I really like this. It's like I talked about, they showed up in my Spotify algorithm, just popped up randomly, found they had one album, started listening to it. It's a great album just to put on. I think it's great summertime music if you're looking for something new to listen to in the summer when you're driving around. I think it's just really good. Not too poppy, but not too
Doesn't-
experimental or indie, quote unquote indie sounding.
Okay.
Which some people might take as a derogatory thing, where you're like, oh, it sounds indie, like it sounds weird or shitty.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good balance of little poppy songs and then nothing too heavy. I mean,
The lyrics get pretty heavy.
I mean, heavy sounding.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I mean, oh yeah, the
The lyrics
lyrics
are pretty amazing. That's something that I kept listening to. I've listened to this album like 3 times.
Did you?
Since you've given it to me.
nice.
And it's been a fantastic experience. Like, the first song, I swear that I've heard it somewhere. It's...
Track 1?
Yeah.
Let me pull it up.
Yeah.
They
They also call... The second song's called Sage Lounge, but they call
Chase Lounge, yeah.
They call it a Chase Long.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. That was Chase Long was their debut single.
Oh, yeah?
What the fuck is the...
That song was really great.
Yeah, I used that on an Instagram story.
But their first track was... We're going to have to look it up because neither
it's
of us
not on their Wikipedia.
know how
for some
to
reason.
prep properly.
Jacob, I walked in
Dude,
and came down here.
buddy, I did the same.
You've had all day.
Being in Love.
Being in love. There you go.
That song's really nice.
Yeah.
The song starts off the album very well because the music does sound very happy and cool, and that's what this song feels like. And then the second song, I'm going to get analytical now. The second song.
Yeah. So you liked it, is what the vibe that I'm getting from you.
Oh, yes, I liked it a lot. 3 points. There you go.
Nice.
The second song was like, they're like, hey, mommy and daddy, I went to school and I got the degree. We call it the big D.
Yeah.
And he's like, I got the big D at college.
Yes.
And like,
Little tongue in cheek.
a little tongue in cheek, you know what's going on. And like, the lyrics just kind of expand off of that through each song.
Yeah.
At the end, the singers are saying like, I don't even know if I feel like this is my life and that I want to do this anymore. And it's wild to go from some people singing like, I really love having sex, and I understand that it's upsetting people, but I'm becoming my own person, and things are getting kind of out of control, and I'm kind of not liking it anymore.
Yeah.
It was like wildly good.
So I really like the songwriting. I think my favorite songs on it are track 5, which is Wet Dream.
Yes.
And first of all, I could listen to all these. I don't think there's a bad song
I
on the
think
record.
Wet Dream was my favorite song too.
It's a 12-track album. It's like 38 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's on Spotify.
Not one that I wanted to skip.
No.
After each, I've listened to it. I'm going to listen to it even more.
I listened to it on the car ride home.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And I'm just, every song I really enjoy.
Yeah, and the song that comes right after Wet Dream I really liked, Convincing. Because that one reminded me, it really sounded, and her voice, whoever was singing, and I'm sorry I don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
Whoever was singing that, it sounded a lot like early, like first album, No Doubt. Like Tragic Kingdom.
Okay.
Just a Girl, Spiderweb, stuff like that.
I got a lot of Built to Spill vibes from them.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, Built to Spill?
No.
Ooh, you got a recommendation coming your way, bud. That's going to be great. You're going to be like, hey, that sounds like Wet Leg.
It does?
Getting an awful lot of Boss Baby vibes from this. You see that tweet?
No.
It says, guy who's only seen the movie Boss Baby, seeing a second movie. It says, getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes from this movie.
I've not seen that, but I fully understand the sentiment.
It's very funny.
So the songwriting itself, and you brought up the lyrics, which is good, because I wanted to talk about this specifically because it's, like I said, it's poppy sounding, it's light, it's profane as hell.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing.
At one point, I think it's in Wet Dream, or no, it's in my other favorite song, Your Mom.
Yeah.
Which is a great song. It's just a great FU breakup song. But in this, she's a lovely girl singing songs, and one of the lyrics is like, you can just suck my dick. And you're just like, what? And I think it's something with profanity and expressing yourself like that. I mean, especially when we were kids, we grew up in the age of parental advisory on, you know, anything.
Walmart
ESRB
would censor,
ratings.
CDs.
I had to get the censored version of Limp Bizkit's Significant Other. I mean, it was nothing.
How are we friends? That's the worst thing I ever heard in my life.
Dude, I had a red Yankees hat that I wore backwards. I was deep in a Limp Bizkit.
I'm so happy you recovered.
I didn't have to go to rehab for it.
Oh my god!
I just outgrew the Yankees fitted hat and then moved about my life.
You just see Fred Durst now, and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, he's weird now, isn't he?
He's been weird the whole time. That's what's something that when you go back and like watch documentaries on like the big music festival,
yeah,
where they tried Woodstock again in the 90s.
Oh, yeah. That was a great documentary. Did you watch that?
Great documentary.
I'm going to take it off my recommendation list for you. Because it's on there.
It's so great.
Shit Show is the one you're talking about, right?
Yes.
That's what, or Trainwreck.
Yeah.
Trainwreck.
Yes.
Yeah,
Trainwreck.
Shit Show, Trainwreck. It's the
same thing. Well, shit, all the same. But
the profanity, it's just one of those things where I think growing up, because they're younger than us, and just that level of profanity just seamlessly fitting in with day-to-day conversation.
Yeah.
It's something like I would put this music on. I mean, I haven't, because that'd be bad. With like my kid in my car, or like just play it normally and not even think about it, because it's very in the realm of how I'm used to,
right? Not
even just talking, but thinking.
Yeah,
like I curse in my brain all the time. Yeah. Like I really have to kind of tone it back a little bit. But it's horrible language in my head, almost exclusively. But the way they write it in the song, it fits. It doesn't stick out. Like I remember,
it fits. Yeah, you put it the best way.
What's the first song you remember that had the word "fuck" in it?
That has the word "fuck" in it?
Yeah, the first song you remember hearing and be like, "Oh, they said a bad word."
Oh man. That is a tall order. I couldn't tell you off the
top of my head. You don't have that memory?
Yeah.
I have it in my head. That's why I asked.
Oh, okay. What you got?
My dad had the CD of Pearl Jam's 10, and it was the song Jeremy.
Yeah.
And I had heard Jeremy on the radio and liked it. I'm like, oh, it's this song. Because, I would go and raid my dad's music collection all the time and make tapes. This is the 90s kids. It was fun.
Yeah.
And in Jeremy, he says, like, I remember picking on the boy, seemed a harmless little fuck. And like he almost like the music almost cuts out a little bit and he says fuck and you're just like, oh. No. He said the word you're not allowed to say.
Man, I don't.
And it stuck out and it was noticeable. But now I and it could just be me. It's something I've talked about with people. I'm like, hey, maybe my way of communicating isn't great, but it doesn't stick out to me at all. I'm just like, oh, no, I completely understand.
I had my older brother that was into music that was showing me stuff when I was young. I had young uncles that were...
Youngles.
Youngles. Youngles.
That's not a
thing. They were in bands, and they showed me a lot of stuff. Punk rock was in my life, like, even before middle school.
Right.
So, like... I was used to profanity in my songs at a very young age.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Obviously, I don't think that, but it's just
now
that it's pervasive.
Like the more I think about it, the reason that it doesn't really stick out to me is because I think my music life has just been like that. Yeah,
I mean, I stayed up late in 5th grade and started watching South Park. It's
exactly,
I knew all the words, but it's just the way that it's in. And it's nothing to like. I don't want it to come out and be like, I can't believe women are saying these things. Because trust me, I've met women that can curse way more than I can.
It's like a greater society thing.
Yeah, and that was just everywhere. Yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's this nice indie rock band from Isle of Wight in England, and
they sound great.
They sound great. Fun. It's amazing, and it's more that it's not even an issue anymore.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
I understand that. Like, they're saying the F word on television now. I remember when they said the F word the first time I heard that.
You remember when Barack Obama called someone a jackass?
No.
It's just like he got razzed on, like, the people that hated Barack Obama on the news. I think he might have been talking about Donald Trump, but it was just like a hot mic thing. Like, what do you think of it? He's like, he's a jackass. And I was just like, that's the most relatable I've ever seen a politician in my entire life.
I have no idea. I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
I'll find the clip for you. But yeah, so you liked Wet Leg?
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Yeah,
I liked it a whole hell of a lot.
So is this a 3?
This is a 3 easily. Yeah. And another fun thing to do is just let the album play and then let the algorithm take its time.
I gotta tell you, Spotify algorithm is
doing a great job.
It's kicking ass. That's a robot that is welcome into my pocket any day. It sounded dirtier than I meant it to be, but
either way.
Get over here, robot.
That's what I want.
All right, so I'll take a 3. Wet Leg by Wet Leg. Check it out on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
It's great music. Put it on in the car. Don't put it on around the kids.
Yeah.
Because they dirty.
I want to put them on around the kids. I'm not your boss.
Yeah, those kids can fucking learn the words. They're going to figure it out sooner or later. So I'll take that 3. Next, we're going to be talking about Jake's recommendations.
That's right,
me,
sir.
His favorite movie of all time.
One of my favorite movies.
He says it's the greatest movie ever made.
Yes, that's true.
It's a 2011 Japanese film.
Yep.
Directed by Noboru Oguchi.
Yeah.
And it is a remake of a 1970s TV show.
Yeah.
Which I was unaware of. So
Me neither until I saw the credits roll, and then they show that they're like, hey, this is real.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's Karate-Robo Zabogar.
Zabogar.
Jake.
Hell yeah, buddy.
Take us through this a little bit.
All right. When I was a young man, and Netflix was the Wild West, the only streaming service that you had. I would sit down and I would watch whatever. I didn't want to spend my time flipping through.
Yeah.
I spend a half an hour and then you go to bed, not watching anything.
You get the indecisive, don't know what to watch.
So I'll just choose something. And so, I'll choose weird things, and then Netflix was just like, hey, you might like this. And it just said Karate-Robo Zabogar. And I said, well, what is that? And then I immediately started watching it, and it was absolutely everything that I enjoy in a movie. It's wildly crazy.
It's a parody.
It's a parody.
Yes.
It knows it's silly, and it wants to be silly.
I hope so.
It's got the fantastic, like, just in general, like, really fun characters, big monsters and evil people. It's got skyscraping villains, and just lots of stuff that I thoroughly enjoy with an adult twinge to it.
Yes.
Like, you can tell that the director of this mainly did like porno stuff, because there's like some
you can tell that the director mainly did porno stuff.
Yes, because of sometimes
I didn't get that vibe at all.
You need to watch more porno. There's scenes where you feel the objectification pretty well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some definite lingering shots on exposed female midriffs and whatnot.
Yes. Yes.
Which I just thought that was part of the parody. Like, it was like, horny
I think
Japanese
it is, but it's also
cliche.
the guy's like, this is my wheelhouse.
Right.
He's like, we're going to take a look at this thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So I wanted to give it to you.
Yes.
Because it's something I thoroughly enjoy, and I want you to experience something in my life that is very precious to me.
Okay.
And here you go.
Yep.
Karate-Robo Zabogar.
All right. I'm going to assume most of the listeners have not seen this movie.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to try to talk through the plot.
Oh, yeah, I'll help you. Don't worry.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm ready.
So, the title, the titular Karate-Robo Zabogar, it was one of twin boys.
Yes.
That were born to a scientist.
Yep.
And Zabogar's brother is Daimon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Zabogar died.
As a baby.
But Daimon and Zabogar's father has this way to turn flesh and DNA into robot parts, basically.
Right. He killed his son feeding it male breast milk.
Yes.
Yeah. Very important.
Not a great scientist. But
not a great scientist.
So, growing up, Daimon's a member of the secret police.
Yep.
Special agent, exactly whatever that entails in Japan.
He's strong.
Zabogar's a motorcycle.
Yes.
That turns into like a
karate robot.
Yes,
sir.
They're fighting Sigma, who is an evil.
It's like Zordon. No, what's his name? Zed from Power
Zed,
Rangers.
Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers. Shit, just generic bad guy.
Yeah.
Little twinges of a Cobra Commander in there too.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get DNA from bosses and politicians and smart people to make a jumbo robot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's perfect. Yeah. And Daimon wants to stop it.
Yes.
Yeah. And in his attempts to stop it, to thwart it, he notices that the government officials aren't as good a people as he expected.
Right.
So he has... And the evil woman...
This would be the fight during... You get this plot twist, and I'm not making this up, with a monster called the Diarrhea Monster.
Yeah. Diarrhea robot. No, the Diarrhea Monster.
Yes.
Yeah.
A giant ant.
And it's just an ant.
That poops acid.
Yeah. It should be called an ant monster, because most of what it is an ant.
Did you want it to be all diarrhea, Jacob?
If you're gonna call it that,
they did that in Dogma.
yeah, and they didn't call it the diarrhea.
No, they call
monster.
it the Golgothan because it's based on the hill on which people are crucified, so their excrement takes over the whole thing.
Damn,
religious stuff, man. Kevin Smith knows what he's doing.
Sure.
So, I have notes.
All right.
Positives first.
Miss Borg. Totally cool.
Miss Borg was great. She was the love interest / bad guy at first, and then, how everything works out. And then there's 2 acts in this.
Yep.
It's basically 2 hour-long mini-movies.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be 2 movies and they pushed it together? Or was
No,
it,
I don't think so.
Was that part of the parody? That it's
I
like,
think it's
now
part
it's
of the fun.
2?
It's like the parody continues where...
There's a 25-year time gap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's this in like present day, basically.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, he's an old person now.
There are a couple... The opening titles rule.
Sure.
Yeah. It's
Hell
just
yeah.
classic, balls out, Japanese...
Wonderful song.
Hyperactive nonsense.
Great motorcycle riding.
Yes. One of my notes just says, Google the difference between robot, android, and cyborg because I'm confused.
He's a karate robot.
I understand, but there are also cyborgs and androids in this, and I don't know the difference. That's just a note to me. Google that. I did not, but I wrote it down to do. Some of the physical comedy of this works really well.
Yeah.
There's one scene where Daimon is getting shot at while he's trying to ride away on his brother robot motorcycle.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people shooting at him. One guy, he clips him. He kicked him, and then he got on the motorcycle, ran him over, turned around, and ran over him again with the motorcycle. Genuinely funny.
Yeah, hilarious.
Physical comedy like that, great.
Yeah.
This... What's...
Yeah, try and... It's so funny because I know you're going to give it 3 points, so
No,
you're
I'm
just
not.
trying to find out.
I'm not giving it 3 points.
It's so great that you're going to give it 3 points.
So here's... Okay, so this is the second big parody thing that you've recommended me. The first one being Garth Marenghi's Dark Place.
Yeah.
Unless you count Twin Peaks as a parody, because it was hilarious how fucking terrible that was.
That's amazing.
Shut up. I hate Twin Peaks. I think there's something lost, because this is subtitled.
Yeah.
I flipped through all the options on that DVD to try to find some fucking dubs, but there was none.
No.
So I had to read.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it lost me a little bit, because I think there's something with nuance that gets lost, literally lost in lost in lack of translation. Because there's something about, especially when you're trying to do parody and that kind of comedy, I think that's why the physical stuff was good, because like robot fights, yeah, it's funny. At one point, someone's boobs turn into a dragon.
Yeah.
But they're rugby cyborgs that squish people to death.
Uh-huh.
All very silly stuff.
Scrum tackle. Yeah.
Yes. All very silly stuff. All the physical stuff were great. The dialogue and everything, and that the nuance of not sarcasm, but I guess it's just parody.
Yeah.
And
the
satire.
Boisterous performances.
Right. It gets lost because it's hard for me to pick up inflection, and it's my fault. It's no one's fault to make the movie. I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it this way. It's like if you didn't speak English and you just read like the script to Anchorman, which is one of the best parodies, satire farce type movies in the past however many years, or if you just watched Spaceballs without knowing about Star Wars, it wouldn't hit you as hard.
Okay.
So I think...
So maybe my consumption of Japanese media gives me a leg up in understanding.
100% it does.
Because I don't understand what they're saying, but I can see the inflection and I can understand.
It's completely lost on me.
So...
And maybe it's just one of those... Because I will say Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, I got all the backstory from that satire. And this, I think Garth Marenghi benefited from having the story within the story. So like there was another layer of satire on top of it. This it's meant to look like the older movies. Obviously this was a 1970s TV show, and I don't know, it didn't click with me. So the way we're grading this is how up our alley it is. This is a 1 for me.
Oh, buddy,
this is a 1.
You know what?
For me.
I'm happy you took the chance.
No,
and
that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this show.
I know.
And then
I ain't upset.
I didn't want to.
I am pushing the limits. I'm pushing the limits today, and on your suggestion tonight.
Oh, I've got a limit one for you. Let's have an episode next week where just like this was fucking dumb.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do that because you come up here, you've got yellow lab level excitement for everything you recommend, and I love that about you. You're so optimistic about things, and just sitting through it. And I'm not going to treat it like Twin Peaks because it wasn't as bad as Twin Peaks because Twin Peaks was fucking terrible. And I understood why you picked this, and then I was trying to work backwards and be like, why? Because you and I agree on so many things. I'm like, why did this click for Jake but didn't click for me?
And that's so funny.
And I think it's that backstory. It's like I don't get the frame of reference.
Yeah.
Like like I said with Spaceballs, if you've seen Star Wars, you love Spaceballs.
Yeah.
When Yogurt goes on about merchandising and stuff like that,
it's
fucking hilarious if you've seen. There's Star Wars branded on everything. Lunchboxes, flamethrowers, action figures, all that stuff. And if you didn't, it wouldn't really click with you.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe it was just that I didn't have the backstory. Maybe if I did.
I watch a lot of old Japanese movies.
There it is.
And it just kind of really, really clicked with me.
Yeah.
Because it's also very, very silly.
It's very silly. And that's why I said the physical stuff is good.
What about the guy that uses his...
try to bring it up to it too.
What about the guy that used his wheelchaired friend as a rocket by him farting?
Physical stuff.
And he lit it. And it became a rocket, and they shot up.
The Smile Brigade.
Yeah. Oh my God. The League of Smiles.
League of Smiles. That's what
I made shirts for a viewing party.
Really?
I made like 11 shirts for everybody to wear.
When was this?
This was years ago.
Jesus
because
Christ.
I get people pumped to watch this movie.
I will say that
a viewing party.
Next time you have one, invite me because I think
if you're in a group environment,
literally it was on that TV and I was just sitting here being like this.
Yeah,
and then when I found out I had to read, I'm like, well, now I can't look at my phone.
It's like 2 times better when you have a group of people with you.
It's like fucking Rocky Horror Picture Show by yourself.
Exactly.
Well, that's still a great movie.
Yeah,
but when you go
so
see
much
it live,
more fun. It's with
like
a bunch of people. Yeah.
So is this a cult classic? Because
I don't know. There's no way.
I gauge cult classics by their Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Because like. When there's a big fan base, someone's taken over the fucking Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And it is detailed as shit.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
One of the recommendations you gave me, the Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the Platinum Trophy in that, so I'm working my way through everything on my PlayStation. And that Wikipedia is fucking...
Well, that's one of the number 1 games.
Of all time. But I'm just saying someone does all that stuff when there's a diehard fan base. This is the plot on the actual Wikipedia page. It says an evil crime organization spelled wrong called Sigma kidnap prominent business leaders to harvest their DNA and only Karate-Robo Zabogar can save them. It's not only Karate-Robo Zabogar, it's Daimon that saves them. And then it says this
I'm going to have to go in there and change this up. It falls on me.
It says, that's what I'm saying. This is your calling. This is your calling. Get on the Wikipedia.
Oh, no.
It says this section needs expansion. You can help by adding to it.
No.
That was posted. It said this needs expansion in May 2011.
Yeah, buddy.
When this movie came out.
Oh, no.
So no one has updated the English language Wikipedia.
This is amazing.
See?
Oh, my God. I have to go in there, and I'm going to have to give this subheadings.
Yeah. Can you put that this
links that you have to click on?
Discussed on episode 25 of Up Your Alley with Jake and
Cultural
Taylor.
Impact.
That's the in popular culture things. It's just this podcast.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because, I don't hear anybody else talking about this. When I bring it up, nobody knows what I'm talking about. And that's...
Yes.
This is one of my favorite things. I
guarantee most people listening to this will not know what it is.
Yeah, you said... No, I guarantee that they do, because most of them are friends, and they totally have seen
So
it.
I'm the last one on your friends list that has had to sit through...
Because I knew you wouldn't enjoy it.
You're such a dick sometimes. I have a new goal.
Yeah.
It's for my next theme month. That's not All Affleck April. Because I want to find things that you love and I despise.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my recommendations for you.
Give me the things that I love?
Yes, it's going to be something that you've never seen, but you will absolutely love, that I detest.
Oh.
And so I'm just going to give you these things that I hate.
That sounds so lovely.
It's the whole point of the game, man. I'm not trying to show you things I like. I'm trying to show you things that I think you'll like.
I like the point of the game is you get me involved and stuff. That basically. I should be involved in, because otherwise I just potato and not do anything.
You watch Karate-Robo Zabogar
and
again.
My thing for you is to watch the weird and dumb shit that I find and
Yes.
have another avenue to converse about these weird things that I get to do.
Yes. But yeah, okay. So this is a one just based on not up my alley.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if you recommend things like this in the future, I have more and more backstory to, build off of.
Mm.
But first viewing.
Yeah.
On this day, Karate-Robo Zabogar. I might change the Wikipedia around. I might get bored.
Just at least
Just
spell check it a little bit.
This movie, well, it's organization spelled with the S, so is that how they spell it overseas?
I don't know.
Instead of Zation, it's Sation?
I don't think so. I think it's just spelled wrong.
Probably.
Yeah. Organize, because they don't say organized.
I don't know. They spell things weird other places.
No,
it's not just America out there, Jake.
Yeah,
there's a whole world.
We all follow the same
Other
grammar.
countries, like Japan.
We all follow the same grammar. When it comes to English, we all follow the same grammar.
No, because the British spell like color with a U.
They use decimals instead of commas for their thousands and millions.
Do they really?
Yeah, right?
What do they use for decimals?
Commas.
Wait.
It's the other way around.
So if it's like 1099, it'd be 10
comma 99. Yeah.
But if it was like $1,000.99, it'd be 1.000,99. Let's fucking take that place over. They just got a new king. We're done.
Watch me be wrong,
America's
and then I just read this in a bad book or something.
This is how the hate group starts.
Yeah.
Those British got to get their commas and dots straightened out.
How do we lose that in translation?
I have no idea. How do I lose this entire movie in translation?
It's one of my favorites, that's for sure.
Karate-Robo Zabogar is
and it's funny
is
because you talked about it a couple weeks ago.
What?
Where you're like,
Decimals?
I want to find something that nobody else is listening to,
yeah.
and so I can spread it around, get people to do it.
Oh,
this is mine. This is mine. Yeah, this right here.
You're the evangelist of Karate-Robo Zabogar.
And I've literally taken it across the country and showed it to people.
Yeah.
I can keep doing it. I have people in Texas I have to take it to.
Leave copies in hotels like the Gideon Bible. Just pop it in there for people.
I wonder if it's expensive because nobody has it anymore, or if it's dirt cheap because nobody wants it.
They printed 3 of them. Talking about comedy, since all right, we're done with this part.
We're winding down. Yeah.
That's a one. Bonus recommendation that I'm not going to give you as an actual recommendation because I know you're going to like it. And group that we're fans of, our Australian friends from Auntie Donna.
Yeah.
They have a new
game show.
Yeah. Have you seen their new game show?
Buddy, I seen the trailer.
Have you watched any of it?
No. Is it up already?
The first one
I was waiting for it. Okay.
So
I'm definitely going to be watching it. The most irritating game.
The most upsetting guessing game in the world.
There it is.
So it's on ABC, Australian Broadcasting Company, their Grouse House YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. And I recommend anybody watch this. It's 38 minutes, the first one. It's the most upsetting guessing game in the world. It's based on the improv game, which if you've seen Whose Line Is It Anyway or anything like that, called Party Quirks.
Yeah.
Where it's like there's one person who's the host of the party, and then people show up and they have to guess what that person's quirk is. They don't know it. It's like, oh, this person's a giraffe.
Yeah.
Or, this person can only speak backwards or something like that. And
these people
make highly specific.
I was going to guess that's what it was.
Insane things. There's one episode up, so it's the 3 Auntie Donna boys, Mark Bonanno, Zach Ruane, and Broden Kelly.
Yeah.
And Michelle Brazier, who works with them as well, and she also has a stand-up special called Average Bear, which is fantastic, where it's like singing in variety shows. Michelle Brazier's amazing. Michelle, Broden, and Zach are the guests in the first episode.
Yeah.
And Mark's on the side just being like, he has a notebook of what everything is. Because like at one point, I think one of Michelle's characters she is a high school production of the musical Thoroughly Modern Millie with all the racist bits cut out. And that's what they have to guess. And Mish Wittrup, who's another Australian actress, comedian, she's hilarious as well. She has a podcast with Zach Ruane called Zach and Mish's John Leguizamo Rama, where they watch this is the kind of weird comedy that I'm into. They watch all of John Leguizamo's movie.
This podcast is pertinent to my interests because
John Leguizamo?
I like watching John Leguizamo movies.
You should listen to Mish and Zach's John Leguizamo Rama.
I'm going to probably have to do that.
But she's the host of the party, and they break her in the first episode.
Yeah?
Because it's literally upsetting and awkward to watch.
Oh, no.
One of the people she has to guess is every time she guesses, it's wrong, and it upsets Zach, and he goes to Mark and talks about recasting her and reshooting the whole
my
thing.
God.
It's the funniest thing I've seen in a while, and they're putting a new one up. There's one with, I think, Alistair Tremblay-Birchall, who was in a couple of other things that I sent you. The guys from that Finding Jesus documentary,
I figured,
are in one.
Yeah.
That Melbourne,
I saw
Australia comedy
trailer.
scene. It's it's fucking hilarious.
So I'm ready.
That's a bonus rec.
Yeah.
So watch that out on Australia's Grouse House TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not the rec. My rec for you for next week,
Word.
Which we're going to get into after I remind you again, because we're supposed to do it 3 times in the show, to like, rate, and subscribe and everything. Send us an email with your own personal recommendations. This is to the listeners, not to you, Jake. Should have qualified that as well. Send your own recommendations to upyouralleypod@gmail.com, and we will talk about it on the show. Maybe do another listener recommendation episode. Yeah. But I have a documentary for you.
Wonderful.
It's a series of documentaries on Netflix called Untold. Have you watched any of those?
No.
So basically, Netflix did it's their version of like basically 30 for 30, which is a documentary series on ESPN.
Yeah.
So ESPN has a bunch of those.
I saw that for Ric Flair. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So Netflix basically is doing that. It's called Untold.
Okay.
I want you to watch one of those specifically.
Okay.
And I've watched a bunch of them. This one's my favorite. It's Untold. It's the rise and fall of And One.
And One.
Yes, the clothing company.
Clothing company.
Yeah. So And One was popular in the late 90s, early 2000s as a basketball clothing company. Yeah. It's like T-shirts that had,
I'm so I'm so far removed from basketball culture. Yes. I did not even know And One was gone.
Exactly. And it's one of those things. It was like those shirts were everywhere.
Yes, I remember And One.
All the jock kids.
Like as soon as you said it, I was like, "Oh, clothing company."
Yeah, and it's the shirts that have like the mannequin looking grayed out jacked guy holding the basketball, and he's like, "Your girlfriend wants to fuck me," and it says that on the back of the shirt in so many words. So it's about the guys that started that company, finding the company, and all the trials and tribulations, and it's just like you said.
Wow,
they're gone now. It's just amazing. One of those things that was here and now it's not around.
Don't anymore. Tell me anything because I want to know when that happened.
Are you going to show up wearing an And One shirt next week?
I want to have a big And One hat at the very least.
If you can find one.
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to spoil it for you. But it's an hour-long documentary. It's on Netflix. It's from Untold. And they've got a bunch of other... They have a fascinating one. You remember the guy, Manti Te'o? He was
I don't think so.
He was a football player, like draft pick out of BYU. And he got catfished hard. And when he was going for the draft, turns out the girl that he said he had a girlfriend just wasn't real.
Oh,
yes, it was very, and he got publicly embarrassed nationally and shit like that.
Oh,
and he's just the nicest guy in the world. There's one about him called The Girlfriend Who Wasn't There or something like that.
Oh my God.
There's one about the Malice in the Palace. It's a bunch of great stuff. But yeah, watch Untold, the rise and fall of And One on Netflix.
All right.
Jake, what do you got for me?
So mine is a YouTube video.
I like YouTube. YouTube.com?
YouTube.com.
Is that right? Okay.
Just HTTP://
Are those forward slashes?
//
You're supposed to be the fucking tech guy.
I can't remember.
Bottom left to top right.
Yeah, bottom left to top right.
Yes. This is a dumb bit.
www.youtube.com.
Fair enough.
/ No, we're not going to do all that. You're going to go and search Lasagna Cat. And you're going
Lasagna Cat? Like Garfield.
Cat.
Is it about Garfield?
You're going to watch the episode titled 07/27/1978. This, I want you to look nothing up. I want you to just start it up.
It's an hour-long thing.
Watch it to completion. This is a 1-2 punch of the weirdest shit
Jacob.
that I enjoy.
Okay.
Karate-Robo Zabogar was my right hook.
Lasagna Cat, and you type it out like the date. 07 / or / who knows?
I can never tell.
27/1978. A date, July 27th, 1978.
Yeah.
So, wait. Okay. I'm interested in this now, too.
Yeah.
This looks fascinating to me.
I am expecting a 1, but if it clicks, which I hope it does...
Oh, this is going to be interesting because we'll see if this clicks with me too.
Yeah.
Since Robo Zabogar did not.
This one is in English.
God, I have such high standards, don't I? I like stuff I can understand.
But I want you to just watch it to completion.
Yeah.
And if you want, you can watch the latest one that he has, too. That one's 4 hours long. I don't want you to look at the thumbnail.
God. All right. Okay, so it does a little bit of autoplay. I'm getting strong.
Oh, no.
No, I stopped it.
Okay.
I'm getting really strong Too Many Cooks vibes. Is it that kind of comedy?
I want you to watch it to completion.
It's a mystery.
And we will discuss it next week.
Lasagna Cat, 07/27, 1978.
This thing is 6 years old.
I see that, and 3.5 million views.
That
Not
is
too
so
shabby for a YouTube.
funny. Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's 6 years old. That's so great. But I love it.
I have no words.
Look forward to what's going to happen.
That's a fun little sizzle. All right, so yeah, Jake's going to watch the documentary Untold, The Rise and Fall of And One on Netflix, and I'm going to watch Lasagna Cat, July 27th, 1978. Whatever the fuck that is.
He's going to watch Lasagna Cat. Oh, yeah.
I'm going to check that out.
Oh,
right.
man, this is great.
So, yeah. So, thank you all for listening. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys for telling people about the show. That's really good. I've had a couple people be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so told me that you and Jake are doing a podcast.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
like, hell yeah, we're doing that. So, keep spreading the good word.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Follow us on Instagram at UpYourAlleyPod. Send us your recommendations to upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Be sure you leave a review, subscribe, do all that stuff. Check out the YouTube channel. And even if you don't watch the stuff on YouTube, go over to youtube.com when you're searching for Lasagna Cat to watch that. Just find our channel, Up Your Alley, and just subscribe to it because that's good. You don't have to watch the shit. Don't do anything. Just subscribe to it.
Well, watch it.
Tell some friends.
That'd be nice.
Steal people's phones.
You don't have to negotiate with
Well, I'm not saying it's not one of those
already.
things like if you're listening to the show, whatever you're listening to it on is fine.
But give us a subscribe.
You can still subscribe to YouTube and subscribe for other people. You know, you've got a grandma that has an iPad she's not using. Subscribe to YouTube. If there's a public library computer somewhere, just log into something and just subscribe to some YouTubes. So yeah, we'll get into Lasagna Cat and One next week.
Yours is so normal.
I'm looking forward
Yours
to next
is
week's
such
episode.
a normal thing to watch.
I gotta tell you, I think it might be a one for you as well because it's threading my line of like sports culture, which you're not way into, basketball, which you're way not into, and business, which you hate.
Yeah, so this is gonna be funny.
And documentaries, and also
I love documentaries.
There's ancient aliens in it too.
Are you?
He started and won. Spoiler alert. No.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun episode.
My eyes were like deer in headlights when he told me that.
So everyone come on back and listen to all that nonsense next Friday. Jakes, thanks for coming over, buddy. I love you, buddy.
I love you too, man.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.